It's alive! It's alive!
Hey guys, that's your Rachel Legends. Welcome to the video. Glad to have you all here with me today. Send some love, some positive vibes your way, especially if you need them out there. Today, we have a Mad Hatter fusion going on, at least at the time of this recording inside the game. One of the epics as part of that fusion. So an epic that you can get if for whatever reason you're not going for the fusion or if you miss out on the fusion is Dawncaller Sabitha, a very unique Knights Revenant Void Affinity Support Reviver champion. There's a lot of buzz around this epic champion. Is she one of the best epics in the game? Is she even top 20? Is she even top 100? Today, I'll give you my opinions on her and my favorite builds for her and where you can use her. So, her base stats, nothing to write home about. Not a lot of survivability at 17k on the HP. Her speed is all right at 98, 1288 on the defense. So she can take a hit, but she's not the tankiest champion out there at the same by the same token. Aura, HP in all battles by 25%. Obviously, this is going to be great if you're lacking in aura. It's going to be great in Cintranos. It's going to be great for survivability in progression, generally speaking, in the game. And obviously, you can use it, well, everywhere. It's an all battles aura. On her Dawn Spear, her A1 ability attacks one enemy, heals the ally with lowest HP by 10% of this champion's max HP. Her damage is based on attack, but she's not dealing damage, right? So we can forget about the damage, but the heal is very nice. It's based on her max HP. Obviously, that can also proc whenever we get a counterattack, deterrence and retribution, an ally attack. So there's a lot of heal potential in this A1. That's the good news. The bad news is this is the only heal in her kit. So, you know, not the best ability in the world, but it's not bad. It's only a single target hitter as well. On the A2, Fortifying Ray, 3-turn cooldown, increase defense, big version, increase attack, big version. Both for 2 turns on a 3-turn cooldown when booked is going to be fantastic. It's going to get more damage out of your attack-based nukers, more damage out of your defense-based nukers, and increased defense and more survivability for everybody on your team. You definitely want to pick up Lasting Gifts Mastery to have a chance at extending the duration of these buffs. Simmer of Life is her revive on a 4-turn cooldown. Revives an ally with 25% HP and 100% turn meter. Is she the only epic that has 100% turn meter revive? I think so. Plays a block damage on that ally for 2 turns. So the 25% HP kind of sucks, but the block damage does mitigate that somewhat. The 100% turn meter is very nice, and it's on a 4-turn cooldown. Really good for an epic. On the passive, Rising Fate. This is what kind of brings it all together, and this is what really makes her, alongside the 100% turn meter and having both of the buffs on a 3-turn, all unique things for epics. She also brings, whenever this champion revives an ally, decrease the cooldown of one of this champion's skills by 1 turn. It's a nice kind of extra mechanic to keep the cooldown of Shimmer of Life or to get back to the increased defense, the increased attack on the A2 even faster if it's off cooldown. So, and you know the revive is going to be off cooldown because, well, we just revived. It's going to take that to proc the Rising Fate. So when we look at her kit in totality, she's a very competent reviver who can set up all of your champions for damage and from some survivability. And she has that 100% turn meter on the revive, which is especially good in the arena. It's good everywhere, but it's a really cool ability. So how does she compare with the other epic revivers out there in the game? Ursula, her revive certainly isn't an AoE. It's not as strong as an Ursula the Mourner, right? Ursula definitely, I would say, is a better champion in a vacuum. They're quite different, but a better champion overall with a big version of the buffs on her revive with 75% HP and a decreased attack. Godseeker and Eerie. I'm going to say Godseeker is also better. You know, but again, I mean, it all does depend. She doesn't have the buffs, the increased defense and the increased attack, but her kit is a bit more unique, I would say. Who else? Tagore, my man. I would also put Tagore over her. I'm kind of doing a tier list on the fly, best epic revivers, right? Tagore has an AoE revive. He brings shield. He brings increased defense. He brings increased speed and a good heal with damage and mitigation and the aura. All right. Who else would we put? Actually, the only other champion I'd put ahead of her, so I think I'd call her the 5th best epic reviver in a vacuum here. We're just having fun. Is Remy Rector Drath, I would say maybe is a bit better. She's a lot faster, right? And she's really cool with all the veils, perfect veils, all the healing that she brings to the table. Just a lot of support in this kit, even more so than Dawncaller Sabitha. So I would call her the 5th best, give or take, reviver out there for epics. There's a lot that we didn't mention who are really good too, but that's kind of where I would tier her out as, and that would probably put her as a top 25 epic in the game. Now, another epic I would say that she's comparable to, kinda, sorta, is Ryan the Conjurer. Ryan is also a good arena epic, right? She has a much, much weaker revive, but she does have buff removal and a weaken on her A2. So whereas she's debuffing and removing and manipulating and controlling the enemy, with Dawncaller, we're going to go in there and buff our team instead. So I would say that Dawncaller has more PvE viability than someone like Orion, whereas Ryan might be more useful in the arena with the buff removal. All right, guys, so we've really gave a lot of additional context there. Sorry for getting too granular for some of you guys, but let's see how we built her. So I like her in Stone Skin for the arena. Obviously, Stone Skin gives her a turn of vulnerability to damage against bosses too. So it allows her to obviously stay alive or stay healthy, full HP, a little bit longer so that she can stay alive to revive anybody who needs it and buff up the team longer. So Stone Skin, even in PvE, is certainly not the first artifact set that we think about, but it can have utility there. We have Protection. I love Protection on this champion. I went with the 5-piece. You could definitely make a case if you have it. Throw in a 6-piece, right? Get all that speed. Even a 5-piece Protection is really good. 25% chance to place a protected buff. Protected buffs are very good. There's a lot of buff removal in the game right now in the meta, especially in the arena. So protected buffs, even at 25%, is fantastic. Moreover, I love the idea of having a protected block damage. That gives us plenty of time to heal and support the champion who is revived. So I do like the combo of Protection and Stone Skin as an overall build on this champion. Let's quickly go over to hellhades.com. They rank her a 4 out of 5, so really good. It's like low A tier champion. Area rankings, they give her, fairly good progression rankings across the board. Hard mode dungeon, she does scale very well in Ice Golem and Dragon as a support. Eternal Dragon and Doom Tower is her best score. In the arena, they give her a 4 out of 5. In terms of recommendations, they give a PvE recommendation for Masteries. I'll link this website for you guys as well, the best in the biz there. They recommend going down the offense tree, support tree. The only thing that I would quibble with here is, again, I'm picking up lasting gifts 100% on any build on this champion. I'll either go defense and support, or I'll go offense and support, but either way, I'm going with lasting gifts. Let's see what they recommend for other gear sets. Speed, reflex, protection, or guardian. Guardian's a good idea. I think it's an underused set. The problem with Guardian, though, is she's not quite tanky enough to really be a long-term solution to eat up all that extra damage. So you gotta be careful. Protection, I agree with. Speed is fine. Reflex is fine as well. Get a cooldown off of some of her abilities. And then they recommend Stone Skin, Protection, and Bolster inside the arena. Nubraids has a big video speculating on why she'll be one of the best epics out there in the game, if you want to check out his video as well. All right, back to the game. So I would just run speed and survivability. I would probably mix like a couple immortal sets with one speed set. If I was going to go 2-piece sets, maybe a couple speed with an immortal, but we do want some HP for the heal on the A1 and general survivability. So I went with HP on the ring. I went with defense, level 12. I'm silver broke right now on the amulet, and I went resist because I wanted a Stone Skin on her, but ideally I'd go HP with speed as a priority on the banner. No accuracy needed in her kit. I went speed with HP on the boots. I went HP with resist on the chest. I went HP with some defense. Again, all about survivability. She's a fairly easy champion to build. You can even build her with a little bit more resist and make her a little bit, we don't want our revivers, obviously, or our cleansers first and foremost, but our revivers too. We don't want them to be CC'd. All right, blessing. I think that you could definitely go with a, I'm thinking maybe even Survival Instinct. Partially fills this champion's turn meter whenever a debuff is placed on them, spread or transfers onto them. I like Survival Instinct. It's a nice option. You could also make her your commanding presence champion if you don't have intimidating presence. So those are my favorite choices for Dawncaller. Okay, Masteries that we're going with is an all-out support reviver build, right? We're going to come down. We're going to go with the defense. We're going to come down Retribution and Deterrence. As I mentioned earlier, are going to be great options because of the heal that she has on her A1. These are great masteries to pick out if you should choose to go down the defensive side of things. Now, old school, we used to always go War Master, even on supports for extra damage in PvE. As this game has evolved, I feel like that extra, 100, 200, 300,000 damage, when you get to towards the end game, I don't think it's significant enough. For my supports, for even in PvE, I still prefer going down support and defense and choosing one of these tier 6 masteries. It's just something that I've noticed myself doing more and more over time. I don't know if you guys are the same way. Certainly in longer battles like Chimera or Clan Boss, Demon Lord, or Hydra, you still want to go War Master because that damage can add up. So every situation is a bit different, but general dungeon progression, I'm going down support tree. I'm ending with timely intervention. We talked about how important lasting gifts is for that A2 ability on this champion. It's not going to extend the block damage on a revive, but the increased attack, increased defense. We want rapid response to get turn meter boosts. And we also, you can make a case too that we go cycle of revenge and retribution instead of deterrence there for more turn meter fill, right? So you can make that choice as well. Other than that, we went Lay on Hands, Healing Savior, and Merciful Aid for the healing masteries. All right, let's take her into battle here, guys. It's reset day in the arena, so I apologize, but let's just try her out in this team. The weird thing is in the arena is, and this is why I would prefer still maybe a Ryan in a vacuum in the arena, is because when you get Arbiter, she has the increased attack, so you've got that covered, right? And then she's bringing increased defense. So my favorite type of team to play her on is going to be a go second team. So here I have a Ragash, I have a UDK, I have a Vogoth on the team. This is a team that's meant to not go first. If you can't outspeed your opponent, well, you might as well just build a tanky team like this. Vogoth has heals on his passive, and it's really nice to bring back your nuker. We're setting up our defense-based nuker, by the way, with an increased defense. That's why she pairs really well with increased defense champions. Not everybody has Sifis for the arena. Now, Ragash does have an increased defense, but it's on his A1. So ideally, we don't want to open up with his A1. We want to open up with his A2. So it's a great setup move, and there he goes, dealing maximum damage thanks to the Dawncaller Sabitha setup there. So I like using her on a super tanky go second team if you're just not able to outspeed your opponent. So let's kill this ninja. Come on, ninja. In the swift parry, ninja. Come on, buddy. All right, take him down there, Ragash. Man, Ragash is nasty. Let's go against another go first team. Let's go against a go first team with a lockout hegemon, Armons. There's a lot of lockout here. Ideally, we'd have higher resistance. Let's just see how we do. Obviously, the lockout is not going to work against our stone skins, but let's see. Against stone skin protection there. Get a counterattack against Armons. He takes care of our, neutralizes our UDK, and Dawncaller still staying pretty strong here. We're going to go in. Odds are somebody's going to die here soon, right? So we're just going to, wait this one out. That's why we have UDK. That's why we have Vogoth for the heals. As I said, a weak point on Dawncaller is not heals, no heals, excuse me. So having a Reliquary Tender, even a backup reviver like that, so the Drakes could make a lot of sense. I mean, against Armons, we're lucky if we even get a turn. Like maybe I shouldn't have gone against this team, right? But I think we will win in the long run. It's just a matter of time. Oh, man. Oh, man. We could be here forever, though. If UDK unsheeps, we need to build our UDK, by the way. I want to do a rebuild video. We need to build him with a lot higher resistance than we have on him currently. The good news is their nuker is Hegemon, right? So even if they kill UDK eventually, all we need is one turn. We could really use a cleanser on this team, right? I'll tell you what, if we don't get a turn here in a minute, then I might just give up just because I want to save you and me the pain. Okay, I'm going to give up. But you guys can see what I'm talking about in terms of the viability on a go second team with her, right? Maybe a cleanser would be a good addition to a team like this. So guys, I'm going to show you. She works well. I ran her an Ice Golem 10 with this squad. Artak does the heavy lifting, but, you know, all in all, she's a great support, great increased attack, increased defense. The nice thing on a team like this is she sets up a Pan the Bowhorn, right? And a Deke, you know, these are our attack-based nukers that, you know, we want to have the increased attack, obviously, right? So you're going to go in there, increase attack, and then boom, we get a lot of damage off of the Pan the Bowhorn, and then she can revive when we get to the actual Ice Golem. I do want to show you her in like more wavy content though, because to me, she's a good progression option. She's kind of a jack of all trades, maybe master of none, and I don't mean that in an awful way. I think a lot of accounts can benefit from a champion like this, but all in all, I don't think she's going to have one area where she's just absolutely nuts. She's just going to be steady and helpful in a bunch of different areas. So we have Morag on this team. Let me make myself a little bit smaller. This is like kind of a who's who of some of my favorite epics in the game in this awakened hard Centrano stage, right? So we have a Lydia, just to help out against those Torments, right? We have an Ulfrig, who I absolutely love. We have Morag, who I absolutely love. We have Deacon as our turn meter booster and our decreased defense champion. And then we have, well, Dawncaller, the woman of the hour here, right? So it's really nice to have just somebody who's setting up your team. No matter what you need, she's got it until you get a Mithrala. And I guess, again, best case scenario, just a perfect progression reviver. Worst case scenario, you can say, hey, well, I've got Arbiter for the arena. I'm good for attack-based teams. Hey, I've got Mithrala in the arena or anywhere else. I'm good on the increased attack, increased defense ability because I've got Hex in addition and CC on the petrification. So I do feel like endgame players will probably leave building a Dawncaller Sabitha wondering, well, I've already got Mithrala, I've already got Arbiter, I've already got a lot of other options. Is she really necessary? And I would say probably more in area. Yes, she is maybe necessary, but more in areas like this, in Centranos, in limited areas, in secret rooms of Doom Tower, in Centranos, in Faction Wars, right? Progression players using her in Faction Wars, you're not going to be disappointed. So Ulfrig is dead. We finally get to pull off a revive here, and Ulfrig comes back. Again, block damage, goes right into an AoE because he has 100% turn meter, right? Not bad at all. I like that revive. You could probably, maybe there's some utility in using her in situations kind of like a, sort of mini Godseeker, where you're reviving somebody, you're just not resetting their skills is the issue, right? But you're reviving somebody and they're taking a turn quickly afterwards, right? I say quickly because Cardinal has the revive, and maybe I should have shouted her out earlier too. She has the revive where everybody's going to be guaranteed on an AoE to go next. Whereas Dawncaller is not a guarantee, even with 100% turn meter, unfortunately, that they're going to go next, because other champions on the other team might have more than 100%. They might be next in line, so to speak. So it's not guaranteed they're going to go next off of her revive. But overall, I tend to agree with the Hell Hades score on this champion. Maybe a B+, A- type of territory. If you need her, odds are you know that you need her. I hope you enjoyed this guide. Let me know if you agree or disagree with my assessment. Much love, and as always, take care, guys.